Hey guys, welcome to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Jimmy.
And I am Ta.
And we've been traveling full-time just about a year and 2 months now.
And what happened is that traveling Mexico basically had changed us in so many ways. We basically based in Mexico City, and then that is our home base, and then we just travel and hop all around.
So we kind of branched out from Mexico City like we always do.
Today, the reason why we want to make this video because there's something going on with us due to the reason that we travel Mexico. Something changed our mind, something changed our perspective. And we think that if you travel Mexico as first timer like us,
it will definitely change you as well.
These gonna be things that Mexico had changed us, including what we learned from Mexico City. Basically, it is something I feel drastically because I think maybe because I'm from Thailand, and what happens in my culture is that sometimes you are not allowed to really express yourself so much in the public.
Especially coming from like a Buddhist, religion, where it's like very conservative and very like not sheltered, but
there are some Thai people who are pretty much like Mexican in the aspect of like when they think they want to sing in the public, they just sing, or like when they want to dance in the public, they just dance. The key thing that we can take away from this culture is that whatever you think that is enjoyable and you feel like you want to do, something like this doesn't hurt or doesn't cause like any harm to other people, either it be singing, dancing, you hug your loved one, you kiss your loved one in the public, like nobody really cares. And that is what you can take away from Mexico in general. Just enjoy what you love doing. Mexico City, in Mexico.
So when it comes to enjoying what you do in life, you notice a lot of times in Mexico, like especially we had business meetings and things like that, like a lot of it comes down to them sitting around, drinking, having a good time, truly not only enjoying life, but enjoying everything they do in every aspect of life.
Yeah, I feel like food is something that brings joy as well. So
food and mezcal.
Food and mezcal and tequila. One thing that changed me, and I found out that I just take a picture. I just want to take a picture with the wall because the city is so colorful, and like even the wall is stunning.
The tile and marble details on the architecture is unreal.
Yeah, even just like that one too, and even the one with the plain color, it's just so lovely. The town is just so lovely, and things you will find out that you want to just take a picture no matter where you go. You want to take a picture of the wall, or you want to take a picture of the gate, because I just love the architecture there so much in Mexico City. And also one thing though, like go to the library, for example. Yeah, I just want to take a picture of myself in library.
I mean, I don't go to libraries, but that library is unreal. The post office is unreal.
Oh, I want to take a picture in post office.
We got it. You want to take a picture?
No, I didn't want to take a picture. I wanted me to take a picture of me in those specific area of like.
So if you haven't, you can follow us on Instagram and see a whole lot of pictures of her.
In Mexico, you will sometimes see me just like sit next to the bush and like sit on the bench. Just the bench is beautiful. You found yourself that you want to go out every day to see things because each area.
So much to see.
Yeah, each area in Mexico City, it's just so different. It's just like it has everything to offer to everyone. Sometimes that you feel like you are lazy and you want to just like stay at home. But somehow you feel like you want to go to the Chapultepec Park.
You don't want to miss it. Chapultepec Park is just so much bigger than New York City's Central Park. So it's like, no matter how much time you spend in that park, there will always be another sliver or section to the park that you haven't seen.
Another activity.
Yeah, another activity to do, or another food court, or eating area, or castle to see, or lake to be in. It's
whatever you want nature, or you want something looks so historical, or like if you want something more hipster, you can go there. If you are the big fan of like coffee, you want to sit in some cool coffee shop, there are plenty of things to see and do every day in Mexico City.
And you don't have to travel far to do it. It's like one is Roma, one is Condesa, one is Naverte. It's like all within a train ride away. Alright, so next, when it comes to being in Mexico, like you tend to be like way over polite.
Gracias. So basically what we have noticed a lot in Mexico is that people say thank you several times. They avoid not to say
No.
yeah.
Yeah, they avoid saying no, but instead of saying no, they just say gracias.
Yeah. So if you don't want something, for example, like somebody comes and try to sell candies to you and you don't want it, you don't say no thank you, but you say gracias.
Yeah.
Gracias.
Yeah.
And then that person automatically know that.
You're like thanking them for offering you something,
Yeah.
even though you don't want it.
So it becomes my habit that instead of before I say no, I used to say no thank you, but I just say thank you automatically. It become part of the habit even more to say thank you in whatever
I got
situation.
off the bus, and when the guy handed me my suitcase in New York, I said gracias. Like that's how used to it I was. It becomes a part of what you do.
And also from what I realized is that some Mexican, they say thank you, but they don't just say gracias once, but they say gracias and then 2 seconds later gracias again from whatever you do for them. They really feel overwhelmed with
Thanks.
thanks and like appreciation.
So we went to Mexico for a specific time. 1, to avoid the snow and the cold, and 2, to experience Duetos Muertos.
I think they are las muertos something.
Okay, well, Day of the Dead.
Muertos mean dead.
Yeah, Day of the Dead. So we went down there to experience this tradition and this culture, and it kind of changed us. Like it really made us see things in a different way. Now you don't really in the Mexican culture you don't really fear death. It feels like.
No, even like our landlord actually put the flower up there, the marigold, as a part of leading the spirit,
Back
the
into our
ancestor,
house.
back to the house. And the first day I saw that, I was like, what could I feel tonight? Because there would be like the spirit in the house and things, but
It's really beautiful.
it's a beautiful culture. And we are so lucky that we happen to see this side of Mexico, which is like, you will see it only
Once a year.
October, November.
Yeah, once a
during that
year
period.
you see it, and it is amazing. I highly suggest going to see it.
Like they do believe that there is nothing to be afraid of about the dead. You will see the skeleton, like sometimes you see the skeleton, the sculpture and thing. They are dancing, partying. So everything symbolizes the way of like partying, enjoying. So you will learn a lot of the culture during that day. So if you have watched the movie Coco, you will kind of like get the idea of like the
You're
celebration.
gonna hear a lot
and
about Coco. She's obsessed with it.
In one of the videos that we made before about the day that we actually bumped into the street side taco, basically I told you guys that in that video that I'm the type of person that I'm so in love with rice. Nothing can replace rice in my life for me because I grew up with it.
Try living with her. Rice and noodles.
Yeah, and then come to Mexico, I found myself fall in love with something involved with tortilla even more. Oh, but here guys, I can't get enough of taco here. It's amazing. Like no wonders why Mexican cuisine is regarded to be something that UNESCO prays for.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
It's amazing. It's such a unique flavor. Like, I have grown up completely wrong my entire life.
about taco.
Yeah, about Taco Bell. Oh my god.
If you are Asian, I know that the core principle in every meal
Is
normally
rice.
it involves with rice. When you come to Mexico, you can still find rice, but you will find yourself also falling in love with tortilla because actually tortilla is used in many kinds of meal. It's not only taco, but like you can also find the tortilla soup. And then it's not just because you eat it a lot and then you happen to like it, but it's because I feel like Mexicans are so good in putting dedication into the food. So each meal is so different. Some specific sauce or some specific this, some specific that. So
Yeah, and it's every restaurant you go to has like a different salsa. And like one of them will have avocado mix or guacamole, and then one of them will have like it's a salsa but it looks like guacamole but it's not guacamole. It's each place will have different things. So like the tortilla game is unreal because they put different stuff in each one and then you just go and it's rolled up in your hand.
oh,
and you're
something like that too.
You're like, what? And it's like if you're in the States, you can get like one thing at almost every restaurant. Well, the only thing you can get at every restaurant is tortillas. Almost everything else is different, whether they cook it in a different way, different spices, different salsa. Every place in Mexico has such a unique flavor that adds to it.
Yeah, even though you said you're gonna go out and get some taco, you will get bajillion types of taco.
Yeah, there's so many different types of tacos. So growing up, I was always, Mexican food, Taco Bell. No. Taco Bell is horrible, and it tastes nothing like real Mexican food. Being able to get that real corn taste in the tortilla is so much better than flour tortillas. Flour tortillas taste nothing like Mexican food.
Oh, I think that happened the same thing in Asian country, because normally a lot of people would put the stereotype of how Taco Bell is like to taco in general.
Everybody like in the US thinks of tacos as Taco Bell.
I mean, especially if that person never been to Mexico to try real taco, or that person never really like go to authentic Mexican restaurant to try how it is like. So then people always put stereotype in taco. The chips in Mexico is nothing else. Like if you are the type of person that loves some munchies, some snacks, some chips, some candies, you have to come to Mexico to try how it is, because I think nowhere else is like in Mexico. You probably end up loving lime and chili even more if you are in Mexico. I mean, Jimmy is actually, his capability of dealing with spiciness increased a lot in Mexico though.
Well, between going from Asia to Mexico, I come back to the States and I'm like biting chilies as I'm taking a bite of a cheeseburger or something. My dad's just like, what? It doesn't even make sense. But I can't eat things unless they're spicy now. It's just an addiction.
And he told his American friend that like, try this one, it's not spicy, you will love it.
And then they bite it and they're just dying, like crying. Oh, it's so funny. Now, a thing that I've learned and has completely changed me and my mind, and I kind of knew it was going to, because we've ran into something like this before, but Western media or the US media, all they do is show people hopping borders, they show violence and things like that.
Your dad is so worried when you went to Mexico.
My dad almost told me that you need to get life insurance before you go down there. And I was in the military, so I still have life insurance, but the media just portrays such a bad picture. And of course there's going to be violence in every city that you go to. There's violence in New York City. My city that I live in is one of the most violent cities and bad cities in New York State. If you go to the wrong areas in any city, and especially if you're out looking for trouble, if you're out getting drunk and having problems and fights with people, of course you're gonna run into trouble. But do not let the US media stop you from traveling to Mexico. It has completely changed my mind going down there.
Can I say something? Can I ask from what Jimmy said? Coming to Mexico remind me of what people say, that when you expect something like this level and then what you get it like this much, then you feel mind-blowing and you feel like when you get happy. More than what you get. When you get more than what you expect, you are extremely happy, and that is what happened for us in Mexico City. Because before we come here,
like even your mom from Thailand, her mom was worried about her.
Yeah.
And we have ran into nothing but amazing people.
Yeah.
No matter everywhere we went, even when you're in the subway at 5 o'clock and it's jam-packed, the locals are so nice and friendly. Like, if Ta's carrying a big bag, they'll get up and let her sit down on the subway. Like, they're just so unbelievably friendly that we can't not go back. We have to go back. There's plenty more that we've learned, but these are just the 10 major things we've noticed.
Yeah. It really reminds me one big thing, that stereotype that people always put to something, or the idea of generalization that people have, in which like is so normal for human being to have the idea of stereotype and generalization.
Never stereotype somebody by the way they look or by the way somebody talks about them.
It's really such a bad and worse thing that obstructs so many people to decide to do something. Like for example, if all the stereotype that people surrounding us have toward the Mexico,
if we would have listened, we would have never experienced.
Yeah, we would really regret it. I feel like I would be so miserable if that day that
we
people
decided not to go because of what people said.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you guys like the video, please leave it a thumbs up. Please let us know in the comments below what you have learned from Mexico, or what Mexico has taught you, or Mexicans have taught you. One, about people, about media, about everything. Just let us know below.
Like how it changed you.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. Do you even eat more spicy food?
Ooh, I do.
Alright, thank you
for
guys.
watching, and we'll see you in the next one.